It is terrible what is happening in California. And in this video, I'm going to tell you three things. What are the financial costs? What people can do to prevent that, and what governments can do and how to implement that. So stay tuned. Number one, check this element. This is the destruction, and it's thousands of acres, thousands of kilometers being destroyed because of the major fires in Los Angeles, California in 2025. And this show us the terrible power of nature. No matter who we are, no matter how rich we are, no matter what do we do in life, we should always be prepared. And these are the kind of things that are appalling. The stories of people that have died, people that have lost their homes, that have been living for 40 years are incredible. And then I saw someone posting, hey, what about if you just put sprinkler system? And then you might be asking, how does a small sprinkle system that costs less than $7 can really help you? Well, there have been cases because the problem is that the LA mayor, Karen Bass, they cut the fire department funding. That's a problem. Imagine you're in Los Angeles, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and the mayor has the worst idea in the world, which is cutting the fire department. No, fire department should be increased in cities like Los Angeles and other cities around the world. It should be one of the most important things because those are the ones that save you. Those are the ones that save your house. Those are the ones that really work literally 24 hours. You can see the images of the firefighters, the incredible people, firefighters. So check what I found. This was from 2014, okay? But in California, when you have a similar fire, not as big as this one, but in the same process, that this man saved his 100-year-old ranch. With what? A homemade sprinkle defense system. And you will be hearing stories of there was just one guy with a hoe and just doing that, and he had enough water and he saved his house. And you can see the images. Search it. But this is very important because when terrible things happen, sometimes we forget that the solutions are closer than we think. And we're going to analyze what is the economic impact of not doing this. Check this. This is a tweet from Calisthenic Kyle. He said, I'm born and raised in San Diego, California, and I have been through the 2003 and 2007 wildfires. Okay, so he has experience. Where my house almost burned down. Okay, so his house almost burned down and was only saved by my dad with our huge sprinkle system on our ranch. Notice the similarity in those two stories? The ranch owners are saying, how do we prepare, how we protect, how we plan for possible scenarios. So his dad, calisthenics dad, he built a sprinkler system in his ranch, similar to the other story. Okay, so it's possible. And someone was just posting pictures of how could be done. Because think about that, California.
Old tech, no balance? This AI portfolio needs help. Let's roast it. Stop guessing and get the truth about your portfolio. I'm offering a 10-minute personalized roast that cuts through the noise and gives you a brutally honest reality check. I'll tell you what's great, what's holding you back, and exactly how to improve. And the best part, you'll get your full analysis in just 72 hours. Go to franciscamoney.com or click the link below to book your roast today. Let's fix your portfolio and get you on the path to real results.
Has the ocean. It's like you have enough water. There's not a problem of water. Oh, I don't have a system to build how to move the water from the ocean to the houses. Are you nuts? Are you stupid, governor? No, you have the technology. You can just ask Israel. Israel have built one of the best systems in the world with desalination plants and a water system that goes through all Israel, and they haven't even recovered deserts. So it is possible. I know why people are just such mediocre. They don't think about the future. So what I'm saying today, before I show in the numbers, is that the new governor, because the current governor is such a mediocre individual, and you know who I'm talking about, he should just build a new system that will bring water faster because you have the ocean. There's no excuses. And you can literally bring Israelis and they will willingly do it. They will transfer their technology. So, and then when you have enough water in neighborhoods, then people should install their own sprinkler systems and a network of sprinkler systems. So I believe there's also a big business opportunity for companies offering this. But this only works if you have access to water, which in the case of the ranches, they did. They have their own reservoir. But now I was just watching CNN and they were interviewing a firefighter. And the firefighter said, "Man, the water just ran out. We cannot do anything." Imagine. So even though you have sprinkler system, you cannot be protective. You have flow of water. So that's number one. You have to do that. Okay. But let's see. Let's see the problem. So the initial calculation was $52 billion. That's crazy. Just look to the right and just look the top 10 wildfires in US history. The second one was in 2018, which was $30 billion. So as you can see, wildfires are one of the worst, but the days pass and now the calculations are saying that it could be even higher than Hurricane Katrina. That's so right now is top 10 natural disaster of US history. Top 10. Okay? And if they don't control it, which is the problem, it could just go to top 1, which will be terrible for the US economy, the California economy, the people living there. Just look how powerful are hurricanes. Hurricanes cause the major disaster. So it's like, what is happening in Los Angeles? No, like Los Angeles, they're home of Silicon Valley. Where is the technology? That's my question. And then you go to AccuWeather, and they have estimated the preliminary estimate between 135 billion and 150 billion. But this is only based on the current hectares being burned. This has not calculated the probability of this expanding to Bel Air and to other zip codes. Okay, this was more the Palisades, which their average zip code price for a house was $3 million. $3 million. That's the average price of each house. So each time you're seeing a picture, you're seeing a $3 million house. Boom. Okay. These are not poor people. No, no. These are wealthy individuals. Some very wealthy. Some are actors. Some one is just their only house. You know. But in all cases, someone losing their house is the worst thing in life. Okay. So check this. When you just analyze wildland fires in the US, okay, before the 2025 Los Angeles, you can see how it increased in the insured loss. Okay, think about it. Insurance is very important. So, for example, check the estimate of the campfire, which was $10,000 of insured loss, and then it grew to $11,836. And that's just after the fire is extinguished. Okay, think about that. So this is a very big problem. And I see this happen all the time around the world. Well, in most countries. Even the best country in the world. Come on, dude. It's like, is this the best country in the world to manage a natural disaster to help your own people? Is really? because they just accuse each other. No, the state accused the taxpayer, taxpayers accuse the federal taxpayers, then they accuse the firefighters, then the firefighters the director, then the Los Angeles mayor, then the governor. They just accuse him. They don't find solutions. They're not thinking, okay, how do we solve the problem today, but also how do we think for the future, because these fires of Los Angeles 2025 will happen in more cities, and it will be wilder and bigger. Okay, think about that. That's the problem. And then when you compare the size of the destruction, that means that the destruction is larger than the economies of 58 countries around the world. 58 countries. Think about how crazy is this. That's the reason when you're thinking about the US economy, you always find out that the two major states are California and Texas. And if you watch the movie Civil War, which I recommend, I think it's in Prime or in Netflix, you see that the alliance was between California and Texas against the other ones. Spoiler alert, they won. Um, so when this destruction happens, well, only the destruction is higher than 58 countries around the world. Just think about that. Look how crazy is that. No? Crazy. And when you talk about the insurance processes, State Farm in 2024, 1 year before this disaster, they started to discontinue or not renew some policies. Check this graph, or where were those policies discontinued? Pacific Palisades, the number one place that was destroyed. But you have other ones, such as Santa Cruz, Brentwood, which the fires are getting nearby Brentwood, Hidden Hills, Orinda, Rancho Santa Fe, Tarzana, and East Santa Rosa. So they didn't renew policies for 72,000 people. Just think about this. The question is, did State Farm knew something about that? Or they just run their numbers and the numbers show that not enough measures were being taken in these zip codes. Therefore, when a new fire will come, they knew they will lose money. Okay? And this is the biggest reported loss. Is $125 million Los Angeles mansion. So have you watched the TV series Succession from HBO? I love Billions. I love Billions more. But then people are asking, man, you have $125 million mansion, look, surrounded by the woods. Of course, it will get burned. Why you didn't build your own sprinkler system? You know? Which you could have. I have shown you how ranches have done it. Oh, you have to have a reservoir. Yes, you have enough money to build your own reservoir. Okay? Imagine that was rented for $450,000. Imagine just the insurance. Okay? But thinking about the insurance, this is how much companies will have to pay so far. So it's calculated that companies will lose $20 billion. $20 billion. How crazy is that? So you have to analyze that in 2020, they paid 3.1 billion. For example, the Maui fires, it was 3.6 billion, but this is $20 billion. So think about the stocks of those companies. And just reading around the internet, I found this interesting image from the 1900s. Man, we have more technology, more data, more AI, and we're still then extinguishing fires in the same way. You know, it was even cooler, this concept of 1900. I can't imagine the guy, you know, it's like firefighters are the best people in the world, just saying. And then The FAIR plan, which was a plan created by the government of California, has to pay billions of dollars, okay? Because the FAIR plan is a compensation plan, okay? Because it provides basic fire insurance coverage for high risk properties. And look, this is the exposure, especially in this. Yeah. And of course, what happened? Private insurers exited because they just ran the numbers and didn't make sense, even for the premium. So the cost will be a lot for California. It will be more than $24 billion. So that will be more than 10% of their budget. It's crazy. And just look, it's very, very, very expensive houses. Look the average price, 3 million, 2 million. So yeah, this is the problem, guys. Terrible disaster before the fire, after the fire. All the best to the people from California who have suffered a loss. Um, yeah, I send you a big hug, supporting you in these moments. Thank you very much, guys. Please subscribe and share this with your friends, with your family, to be mindful about this terrible natural disaster.